Gentlemen, it's time to stop being afraid of being alone. While the feeling of loneliness can be hurtful and painful and tear you apart at times, it's better to be alone than be with the wrong person, and it's better for that person not to be with you if you're not ready to be with somebody. And if you can't stand yourself, why should anybody else be able to stand you? If you don't like being around yourself, why would they like to be around you? If you feel toxic to yourself, you're obviously going to be toxic to a potential mate. My suggestion is, fellas, is work on yourself. Improve yourself. Learn who you are, what your likes are, what your desires are, what your hobbies are, to the point that when you come home, you're not dreading being alone. Learn to love yourself and figure out who you are without the distractions of trying to please and be there for somebody else. Build yourself up first. Get yourself financially, emotionally, physically, and spiritually stable so that when and if you find that right mate in life, you're going to be ready to be a great mate for that person. And you'll have raised your standards for yourself, so it'll allow you to be more discerning when choosing a mate. Choosing a person in this world is so important, because if you choose the wrong person that's toxic and unsupportive, and you have a transactional relationship, it's going to be painful. It probably won't last. And then you're going to be right back to where you are. I remember years and years ago, when I was a young man, I had this girlfriend for about a year. I was deeply, deeply in love with her. And I'd do anything to please her. And being a young man, I really didn't know who I was at that time. And for example, I never wear my shirt tucked in, very, very rarely. And she was always like, "Oh, tuck in your shirt." She didn't like the music I played, so all my cassette tapes, I'm that old, I had cassette player in my car. So they ended up in the trunk of my car, and I was wearing clothes I didn't like. And so a year into it, we split up, and I didn't know who I was anymore. Everything I had done was to please her. I was quite idiotic when I'd say I was 20, 21, probably 21 years old. I must have been 21. So anyway, we broke up, and I went into the trunk of my car a few days later. I forget why. And there's a box of cassette tapes of music that I really enjoyed. I'm like, I haven't listened to this stuff for months and months and months, because she is always playing some crappy music that I hated. So I put them back in my car, started listening to them. I untucked my shirt, and all these different things that I had changed about myself without even realizing it to please her. I realized, hey, this is the person I am. And I really made a commitment to myself at that point of trying to learn who I was, what I like. And while compromise is good in this world, when you're in a relationship, bending to the point that you lose yourself is not good whatsoever. So learn who you are, learn what you like, be willing to compromise when you do find that right mate in this world. I mean, compromise along with communication is key to the success of any relationship. But learn who you are. Spend time with your friends. Do some reading. Pick up a hobby. Go be active. Stay out of the bars. Stay out of the clubs. And just learn who you are and improve on yourself. Get yourself ready to be a good man. Start learning how to be good at being a man. And over time, that loneliness will hurt less and less and less. Occupy your time with things that you enjoy. And while you're doing those, contemplate, what do you want in this world? What kind of life do you want? What kind of wife do you want? set your standards and keep those standards. They don't have to be high standards. You don't have to have the standard doesn't have to be, oh, I got to wait for a supermodel, or I got to wait for a girl that's exactly this height, or she has this type of job, or, whatever it may be. Are you the greatest person in the world? Are you some supermodel guy? Are you tall? Do you work out? Are you a great provider and protector? I mean, right? If you're not, then someone's going to lower their standards a little bit to be with you. So you might want to lower your standards a little bit too. But don't lower your standards to the point ever of accepting a toxic woman, a woman who's going to bring you down. Your future mate in life should be lifting you up. You should be lifting each other up in all kinds of ways. So anyway, stop being afraid to being alone. I know it hurts. But instead of going on a dating app or looking at pictures online of somebody might be single, or sliding into girls' DMs, or going out on multiple dates all the time, or feeling sorry for yourself because you can't get a date, ask yourself, what's wrong with me that I can't even stand to be around myself? Ask that deep question and be honest with yourself. I mean, are you a slob? When you come home from work, is your house a disaster? If it is, start working on that. Become the person that keeps their house clean. Are you overweight? Are you obese? Start working out. Lose weight. Become a better person. You'll feel healthier mentally and physically. There's so many things that all of us, including myself, can always work on to improve ourselves, that give ourselves confidence and allows us to like ourselves. If you don't like yourself, why do you think some woman out there is going to like you? What would be her motive to be with you if you're a fat slob, you're an emotional wreck, you're not well read? If you're as deep as a puddle, why would anybody want to be with you? Right? So work on those things. Anyway, the point of this is don't be afraid to be alone. Work on yourself and prepare yourself so when God blesses you with that perfect mate that's suitable for you, not that there's any perfect person, but the perfect mate that's suitable for you. There's a big difference there. Prepare yourself so you'll be ready and be good for them just the way they are for you. Have a good day, gentlemen. God bless. Please like and subscribe.